quite an eerie place today. This place is in a way quite famous because it's been on a Netflix series called Red Rose, and the quarry area where they were going having a party in the series was set in this quarry where I am today. Not only that, I mean, I'm not far from the main road within this quarry, and as you come in, you can just slightly hear the cars going past. Not much, you sort of hit a pocket of quietness as soon as you come in here. Now it is used for climbers. They come in here and use the quarry all the way along. Now I remember talking to Chris Turner quite a bit ago, because he mentioned on a podcast that he were on, that in this area somebody had seen a pterodactyl flying over the quarry itself. Now I did ask Chris about this, and he said he was going to get in touch with the person again, but I don't think he ever did. And if he did, we'll probably talk about it next time I see him. But this is a quarry where that happened, and it's quite eerie at the moment, because I come in off the main road and walked in. As soon as I got in here, it just went silently quiet. Now I thought today the snow would have been thicker than what it is, and it's not too bad. I've actually walked up here and I've got quite warm on my way up, and I took my hat off and opened my coat a bit because I was getting too hot. But it's not bad, like it's quite a nice time to come out for a walk. The sun has been out all day, so I think that's warmed it up a bit. And what I am going to do is just walk around, and I've actually brought a cup of coffee with me this time, which is in my bag, and I'm going to get that out and maybe have a sit down somewhere, if I can find somewhere to sit down without snowing. But there's an area over here which looks promising. Now what I have noticed as well while I've been walking around, there's so many deer prints in the snow, but I'm not finding anything else. I'm not finding cat prints, because another thing about this quarry is it's not far from the area of woods where Lee and myself had put a camera up, and it's where I saw the cat that day, the large black cat, just at the side of the road as we were going past in a car. So if anything, it could come in here for shelter. So I'm looking for the possibility of cat prints, large cat prints, but at the moment I'm just seeing deer prints, which in a way is promising, because this is a sort of food the deer, the cat would eat, would come and hunt the deer. Now it's taken me quite a while to get up to here today. That's only because the paths that I walked along, some of them have been a bit hard to walk on. You can hear the crunching of the snow as I'm walking around. Some of it's quite deep. Well, the boots I've got on today will get nice and clean in this. I'm looking for a path. Not found anywhere to sit down and have a coffee yet, so I'll probably just stand. That's it, I'm on a path. I'll probably just stand and drink it. But not only being in here as well, it's only 12 noon at the moment, and it seems a lot later because in here we're not getting much sun, and it's got a lot darker than it was a minute ago. Yeah, the sun is being blocked out by the quarry wall there. So I'm going to walk up a little, because this path I'm on, it cuts through the quarry, and I think, I'm not sure because I've not walked this quarry for many years, and from what I remember, the path I'm on takes me up to the top of the quarry, so it'll start getting lighter and a little bit warmer, because in here you can feel the temperature drop. But I'm coming up to one of the quarry walls in a sec, which I can see from this distance, but it's not got the sun at all. It looks like a layer of ice, because the water's come down and just frozen it. So I'm going to try and get to that, but where I am now, it's all uphill. And because I'm being very careful, because I'm on a path, there's a lot of water running down, and that's frozen as well, so I'm going to be extra careful where I'm walking. That was a bit dodgy in places, but I'm up at the second bit of the quarry now. And as you can see behind me, I'll point it around, you can see where the sun is catching behind, and where I've just come from. All there, it's quite dark, but it's very eerie down there. It's a very eerie place. So yeah, I can imagine the pterodactyl, you know, flying overhead now. So we won't get any of the climbers coming in today, I doubt it, looking at the state of this ice wall we've got here. Well, there's many paths here. There's a path to my right and there's a path this way, but I'm going to take a closer look where the ice wall is. But it's extremely cold here where I am at the moment, where there's no sun, and it's just so frozen underground. So that's the ice I'm stepping on, if you can hear that. No, it's not giving way now. So along the main road that goes along here, which is the A675, we have a line of quarry here, which is broken up by another road, and then on the other side the quarry that's used is used for shooting, and the one next to it is used for climbing, but this is the main one that they use when they are climbing, and I think this is a main rock wall that they do use. behind me. But as you can see, it's looking pretty cool with all that ice behind.
And remember where you go. Hear the whispers in the distance, carried on the wind. Your eyes are the window into the souls of all you see. But fear that no wind that holds you home. If you let it inside your mind, remember it won't let you go.
Well, I'm high enough now to be in the sun and climbing all the time. We're going to get to the top eventually. Quite a steep little walk this is, coming up this side of the quarry. So as I'm climbing up the side of the hill now, that eeriness is leaving, and I'm beginning to hear the traffic noise and all the noises around. And being in the sun is a lot warmer. Well, I've reached the top. That was quite an hard walk, especially with the snow. In some places it was quite deep, up to my shins, almost to my knees. But I've got to the top now, and where I am, I can actually see. Just let me find a good spot for walking. And there we go. At this point we're knee deep, so it's hard to get my feet out. There we go. Let's see, I'm sure there was a path around here. It's typical me, I always end up venturing away from the paths. I don't know if this is an animal track, but I will walk that just in case. So where I am now, opposite me, is Cheetham Stone Circle, right in the distance, and across from that we have a large wooded area where I saw the big cats. So you can see where I am now. As I pan this round, you'll be able to see all the area where this cat has been seen and coming over into this direction as well. So at the moment I can see from where I am Winter Hill, just poking up over a little hill there, and there is actually a bench I can see just there, so I might go over and have a sit down, because that was quite hard climbing up an hill and having the snow so high. And again, I'm in that thick snow again because I've lost the path. I can't see where the path is at all. I'm just going to stand here instead and finish the coffee off before I move on. So in the distance over there we've got the Rochdale area and the Bury Moorlands. Oakham Moor, it's called, and then on this side we've got the Stone Circle, what I mentioned, further over the wooded area, and then over there are the Greystones, where we went to a couple of weeks back. I'd say I think it was August, so we're going back a couple of months, not a couple of weeks. I'm just going to see what time we're on. You know, it's only quite early, but the sun is at a certain level where it's casting shadows in the trees, and it actually makes it seem as though it's later than what it is at the moment. So yeah, I got in the quarry about 12 o'clock ish, had a good loot round. Couldn't see any. I saw prints, I saw a lot of deer prints like I mentioned. I did see prints on their own, but I think it was dog prints, because I were going in the areas where people don't really go to, but if they're coming around here with dogs, they will definitely go into the areas I've just walked in. So there were plenty of dog prints about, some quite large, some very small. No cat prints. So what I am going to do is I'm going to head to another quarry further along, and after I've finished there I'm going to walk a bit along the road, which will take me to the top of Smithers Estate, where I've been looking around these last few weeks, because it's closer to home and the weather's been a bit unpredictable. I've actually been looking in these areas near to where I live, because I'm not far from where I am now. It only takes me, if I weren't walking through this snow and I weren't going the way I was going, if I were going in a straight line and using the paths around here, it would only take me half an hour to get here. But today it's taken over just under 2 hours to get to this spot at the moment. I set out around about 11:15 at 11 o'clock today, thinking I'd make a good timing to get here really, but it's taken me longer than I expected. So yeah, I'm going to walk a little bit further that way, head around the quarry over there, loop round the area, the quarry where they do shooting. I don't know if I'll be able to go inside because it is fenced off, but I should be able to look over and around the top. I've still got plenty of this left because it's quite a large flask, and it's still warm, which is a good thing. And I know I say this every single time I say this, I bet you're sick of hearing it, but the views from around this area, the views where I live and the views to where I come around Winter Hill, no matter what time of year it is, are magnificent. At the moment you won't be able to see yourself if I turned you around, so I'm just going to point out I can see the Peak District right in the distance, going over to almost like Saddleworth Moor and over. Manchester I can't see at the moment because there's a line of trees in the way, which sometimes is nice not to see, because I think it does spoil the landscape. This city does smack bang in the middle and of all this lovely land around. Yeah, we do have houses in the valley here. This is the east side of Bolton we're looking over to now. As you can hear, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a lorry going past. Must be going to Armstrong's quarry in that direction, because I'm not that far from a little road that runs along here. I'll cross there and get to the other quarries. In fact, just behind my head, you won't be able to see it, but I can see the moon just coming over the hills in the distance. I'm hoping you can make that out when you're watching this, because that's quite a nice view to see the moon. Just very faintly you can see it, but as the day gets darker and the sun sets, that will get brighter and brighter and head its way over here. Now I do know we've got a full moon coming up within the next few days. This Saturday I'm out with Hallam. He's coming over from where he lives over in near Cumbria. We've got Dale Making coming over. We're just doing a spot of filming up in the area over the weekend. But today I'm just out walking around looking for prints and looking for anything that could be unusual while we're walking over Winter Hill today. Well, I've had a look around the top of this quarry and there doesn't seem to be anything up here. Nobody seems to walk around this area. I'm right at the top of it, and this is the shooting range that seems to be hidden away within the quarry. Bit of an odd place to walk when you're walking on the edge of a quarry and it's full of snow, and just being extra vigilant here as I'm walking along. A bit easier at this point where I am. Just a normal path. I think they are paths. I mean, I'm walking along here, presuming I'm walking along on a path, but I'm just following the edge of the quarry, really. Doesn't say anything about not trespassing or anything like that. There are people down there. In fact, there are a couple of rock climbers within the quarry at the moment, and they must be mad. Saying that, they must be thinking the same about me just walking along top here. So I'm unsure, very unsure where the main paths are, what I should be walking on. What have we got here? Beware of livestock. Oh, see, I've come in the quarry and I don't think I should have done. No, I shouldn't have been in here really, but I better get on the other side of here. That's it, now I'm on a real path. I'm surprised they've not come up asking me what I'm doing up here, walking around the quarry area. The reason I did that is because I've not walked on this path before, and with the snow, you know, there are little, every so often, the little markers along here saying which way to go. So I was under the impression I was still on that path, but I wasn't. I was in the quarry. I was on seemed to be private land for climbers and people with air rifles. It's a air rifle shooting range. I mean, there's a sign here saying danger, keep out when red flag is flying, but I don't see any red flags flying today, and they're the ones that usually put up at a shooting range, so they really mustn't be using the place today. Now, if I would have seen the red flags, I would have kept well aware, because I do know when you see red flags around a quarried area, it's usually a shooting range. So I'm walking a path at the moment. I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm following people's footprints. I think we've got two people who've been walking in the direction I'm going in, and we maybe have two people walking in the opposite direction. So it is a main path. You can see that they've been walking a dog, because at this point I've got dog prints going into this little area and then coming back out again. So the ones with the dog prints, it looks as though it's gone in this to my left and then come back out and caught up with them further up the path. Now, looking over in the distance, you know, I'm so used to being on the opposite side and looking over here, or towards Winterelly, looking in this area. So this path I'm on is an unwalkable path by myself. So it's good to be out on a place where I've not been before. I do like, you know, coming out and sort of going off. The idea of where I was going to walk is completely different to where I always end up. Like today, I was only going to go to the quarry there, look at the other quarry, and then head back home. But because of this path, it intrigued me a bit. I thought, no, I'm going to follow this. I'm going to see where it goes. And it does seem to be going towards the moors, you know, towards the ash bit of the moors on the top, where not many people seem to walk, apart from these prints I've come across today. I think they are pretty fresh, because I can still, you know, I can still see the imprints. One's a large foot and the other one's a smaller foot, so it's either a couple partners walking along with the dog, or just walkers and one of them's got big feet. So I'm just gonna carry on to see where we go, and if it doesn't lead anywhere, I'll just always come back the way I've walked. And where I am actually is at the side again, because I'm sort of going in a straight line. No matter what, I think where I'm walking now, no matter what, I will end up near Belmont Village. It seems that way, unless it goes round to an area where I were last week, near Coal Pit Lane. Because these paths, we don't, you know, there's so many up here and there's so many places to walk. You know, you could come out each week and spend hours up here, and especially if you're not new to this place. I mean, I've walked around here for a very, very long time. I used to walk around here in my teens. I still do it now, be it for different reasons. I walk up here. Sometimes I do, you know, we come out, we investigate the area, and other times it's just walking. Like today, a bit of investigating the areas, you know, like looking for footprints really, or looking for anything that might be unusual to find around this area. So yeah, I mean, I might end up, I don't know where I'm going to end up, but as I was saying, you know, like anyone coming here, you wouldn't know where to start if you were going for a walk, because there's that many walking paths. Myself, I've walked up here, like I said, years and years. and I'm still coming on paths that I've not been on before. So it's good to be out and about and getting used to the land around where you live. You know, I know where I am. You know, I can't walk along a path and not know where I am when I've walked around here for so long. The road, the A675, is just below me, going along. I know Belmont Village is in that direction. I can see the mast at Winter Hill just over there. The direction I've come to now with the other road isn't that far. I maybe walked another mile up here. So I know it's only a mile that way. I know from where I am now to the mast itself would be about 2.5 to 3 miles. Belmont Village, maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles. So I've got a fair idea where this path might be taking me, but I'm not going to say it because I might be wrong. Now the area, as I was saying about the A675 that's running alongside of me, in the 80s where I am, you can't actually see it at the moment because there's a line of trees. But in the centre of them trees, on the other side of the road, are 2 reservoirs. And in these reservoirs, people can go fishing. Now, in the 80s, well, a couple of years ago, a fellow got in touch with me and he was telling me about an experience he had there in the 80s. And they were out night fishing, just in that area down there. And he said all of a sudden the sky lit up. He said it lit up the old reservoir, the one he was on. It just lit it up like a floodlight. His first thoughts were, there's an helicopter above and they're just shining down on us. But it was quiet, there was no noise. He ended up, sort of, as it came on, in shock, getting down to the ground. And he got his stuff and was ready to scarper. And he said what had happened was, as it lit up, all of a sudden this light seemed to go up into the sky. And as it got up into the sky, he said it shot off towards where the mast is from this area. But he said as it shot off, it left a trail behind. And he said it were almost like the Enterprise from Star Trek, where it leaves that trail behind. And it just went over Winter Hill, towards the mast. Now, the place he worked at, and he worked nights, and he knew some of his friends were on nights, he usually got fish, and if he got too much, he'd take it down to his friends while they were working and give them something. And after this had happened this particular night, he called down at his friends who were working, and one of them mentioned, while they were sat out in the yard of this workplace and having a cigarette, they looked up towards this area where I am, because now where I am I can see in that direction, I can see this place I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention this place because this fella didn't want me to give his name out. He didn't want me to give the name out of the place where he worked. But he said when he got there and he was handing his fish out, one of the fellas who were out there having a cigarette, he mentioned that he was looking in this direction, and he saw all of a sudden a bright light which went up into the sky and headed over towards Winter Hill. So not only did he see it, and the fellow who was fishing, he experienced it, he was right there with it. You know, we have 2 witnesses there talking about the same thing. Now, do you know that this was mentioned at the time on a radio station about this being seen, but travelling from the area across from where I am. So it looked as though it had come from that area, sort of like, for some reason, turned a bright light on over these reservoirs, which the locals call the Twinnies, and then shot off over in the direction towards Winter Hill, which is where I'm heading at the moment. So on this side of Winter Hill, because I was mentioning a bit ago how on one side of it we seem to get cryptid reports, and then on the side I'm on now we seem to get UFO, strange lights in the sky reports, which have been going on from the 80s. There was one person who I knew who used to live at a place just off the A675 going closer towards Bolton, and she remembers coming out one evening being shouted to come out and have a look at a black triangle, 3 lights, the usual black triangle, 3 lights, so far off the roof of the house, going over, just hovering over, moving slowly, almost like hovering over the house. And it was so quiet, they just stood there, watched this going over, and headed towards in the direction of Bolton. Now this was seen by quite a few people around that time, and it was reported in the local newspapers. Now I've been searching for this within the local newspapers and I've not found anything about it, but I do know at the time, you know, I had an interest at that time, and I used to like reading stories about UFOs and things like that. Now this time this were going on was at the same time in Bolton when up on the moors here there was a white deer being spotted, an albino deer, and it was well known for being spotted around the area, and it was that time in the 80s that all the strange things around here were happening. Now this white deer eventually was seen, somebody actually shot it, and it was found on on the roads around here, which is a shame. Now that white deer, if you go to the museum in Bolton, you can actually see that white deer, but that was around about the same time as everyone was seeing this black triangle coming over this area, and over this area I'm walking in today.
Give it away. Keep your heart closed.
I've eventually reached the reservoir, which is frozen, absolutely frozen. So it's got a layer of ice all the way across. And I'm not the only person up here, there's somebody else. Now, the area I've just come to and come from, I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. I ended up following the footprints to get here, and at one point they were that far up over my knee, I was sort of like reaching out of the hole to get into the next one, and again into the other one, and well, it took it out of me a bit, and there was one point where I was walking along and I could feel underneath me ice breaking. So I don't know what I was walking over, but it seemed like a flat area, and I'm hoping that I weren't walking over a little pond or something, because that could have been so dangerous. I could have ended up breaking the ice and going into it. But I was just following the footprints, and I thought, well, if they walk this way, then you know, there's no harm come to them, so I'll follow them. But it could have just been a path that had iced over, and it was just a bit of ice that was crunching on. But looking at this now, how frozen it is, I wouldn't dare go and stand on it. But it's nice to be up here and look at how it is. Oh, some deep bits here as well, as you can possibly see. I'm only going to go up to the end of it, where I know it ends, and then I can show you what it's like. So I was right, the area I'm going to get up to, it is the Cool Pit Lane area. So I've only got a little bit to walk now to get down to it. And once I'm on there, it should be a nice walking path without snow. Well, I'm down on the main road now. I should have said it's a B road, but it's the main road that takes you up here. And well, it's not been gritted, but the only things that are up here really are the farms, and this is one of the main roads that will take you up to the last farm, and then from there it's onward to Winter Hill. So this one is, yeah, it's not gritted at all. So, and we know the farmers will have decent cars to get up and down here. They don't really need to grit it with the cars they've got. But once I get to the bottom of this road, I will be on a main road, which will be gritted and probably no snow at all. It's more or less where I first started from, where there was just smidges of snow here and there, not like it is here. Looking straight in front of me today, I can actually see Jodrell Bank from this road. And I'm coming to an area now where I'm coming across walkers again. Walkers that don't really go high up into the hills. The ones that mostly stay lower down around these areas. And there's quite a few out today. So there's only been myself and one other person who I saw earlier on. So I had someone get in touch with me the other day, asking me why all of a sudden I'm wearing sunglasses while I'm doing the videos. And I know I never got back to you about it, because I thought I'd mention it on one of the walks I'm doing. But what they are, these glasses are transitions. So the UV from the sun changes them, and that's why they look as though the sunglasses, which they're not, they're just transitions. They go from clear glass when I go inside, but when I'm out and there is a lot of sun or brightness like there is today, they will darken, as you can see. So no, I'm not trying to start a trend or anything. I'm just wearing transitions, and yeah, the sunlight changes them for me, and it's a lot easier on my eyes, because on a day like today I'd end up getting back and my eyes would be quite sore because of the brightness of the glare of the sun on the snow as I'm walking around. Sometimes they don't transition fully, and especially evening time, you know, as the sun's setting, they'll start going back to clear. So when I get home and I shut the door behind me, as soon as I walk into my living room, give it about 30 seconds and they'll start becoming clear. That tint, what you're seeing, will disappear, and you don't notice when it's happening. You know, I don't notice when I come outside and they start changing. I don't notice because it's quite subtle, but the brighter it gets, the darker the glasses get. Now today they're at the full potential, so they do look like proper sunglasses, but looking round I can look at the sun and not have a problem. So on that note, I'm coming to an area where there's plenty of cars and plenty of noise. I've come away from the tranquility of the moors to the noise of the town. So thank you again for coming along. Thanks for walking over these moors in the snow with me. It's been enjoyable. It's been a bit weary at some points, especially when I was walking over snow and hearing the ice underneath sort of crackling as though I was walking over ponds. That was a bit nervy, but I don't think it was anything serious. I think it was more of a path. So again, thank you, and I'll see you again on the next video. Bye for now.